Hello, everyone. I'm Nolan Myers, CEO of Double GDP. We're building an end-to-end platform for new cities to connect with residents, accelerate growth, and deliver responsive public services. I'm here today to bring you an update for the period from September to November in 2020, which is roughly our Q3, Q4. You know, we do sprint updates every 2 weeks and share that with the world, but this is really a great opportunity to take a step back and understand, take a look at the progress that we've made over the span of 3 months and really celebrate and enjoy the progress that we've made and think about where that brings us and what it allows us to do for our customers. There are 4 areas that I'd like to highlight of progress that we made in the last quarter. The first is that we really increased the strategic clarity by switching to a new metric around population. So we've been tracking weekly active users, and we decided this quarter to shift to population growth as our core KPI and North Star metric. I'll tell you a little bit more about each of these as we get into the presentation. We also really expanded our team and strengthened our team quite a bit, and I'll share more about that. And a lot about the product capabilities, especially around community engagement and sales workflow. And finally, we invested in programs that will accelerate growth of new cities. So first, let me celebrate a little bit about the progress that we made with weekly active users. This has been our North Star metric for the last year, and we've been tracking it on a weekly basis, advertising it every sprint, talking about the growth that we've had. And it's really served us very well. It's inspired a lot of growth. It's focused us on delivering value to our users. Our aim was to grow at 10% week over week, and we hit it almost every week of the year. We also ended with quite a flurry of activity, thanks to the Nkwashi residency program and all the work that our teams put in together to make that a great success. So we're ending this metric on really a high note. But even as we were working on that metric, we realized that weekly active users was not a direct proxy for the value that we wanted to create. Our vision is to have better run cities around the world and to double the world's GDP. And weekly active users is not going to be is not a great proxy for that kind of value. We looked at a few other North Star metrics, including economic indicators, and ultimately decided that the population of the cities that are running Double GDP software is going to be the best metric for us cumulatively, and partly because for each of our cities, for each of our partners that we're working with, their population is going to be reflective of the scale and impact that they're having on the world. So we really like this metric because it reflects the value and scale of our customers. It focuses us on helping to create that value. It's a very common benchmark for cities around the world, and it's much more straightforward to measure than economic indicators that it will move in conjunction with. So with that said, we set a goal for ourselves for the end of next year to be at 100 people living in all cities powered by Double GDP. Of course, getting there will only be possible with a great team. And so I'm thrilled to talk about the progress that we've made on our own team in the last quarter. We've transitioned 3 people who had been working with us for nearly a year, but working with us through an agency into full-time team members at Double GDP. We also had 5 new teammates join the team, 1 in customer success, 1 in user interface design, 2 engineers, and a new partnerships manager. And also we hired 2 new people who are going to be joining in the next quarter that we're thrilled to have, especially a new head of customer success, which has been quite a long effort, and thrilled to welcome her to the team. So let's talk a little bit about product. Really excited about everything that we've accomplished this quarter. Our focus coming into the quarter was on sales and marketing, really thinking about the top of the funnel and how do we inspire people to be interested in joining a new city. We've made a lot of progress here, but we also invested a lot in community engagement and task management and sales workflow. Community engagement really about nurturing interest through the content that we're publishing, and task management around having responsive sales operations and making sure that when people are interested, the sales team is able to follow up with them and keep track of all the different people that they're talking with. We also had some great growth around forms, plot registry, and business directory. So let me focus in a little bit on the sales and marketing. In this regard, the focus for us was around campaign management. And the big milestone that we hit in Q3 and Q4 has been to allow this to be run as a self-serve for an administrator to run campaigns all by themselves. We had quite a lot of capabilities coming into the quarter, but all of them were on the back end and were kind of tedious to run. campaigns are so essential to a modern marketing effort. This is being able to send out SMSs or emails. It's important to be able to nurture leads and to run promotions. And now administrators can do that on their own. And some of the capabilities that administrators have are to import a list of contacts from some other database, filter and hone in on the users that they want to reach out to, create labels to group them, draft and schedule emails for their SMS campaigns, and see the performance metrics of how those campaigns are working. Save and edit to reuse and allow users to opt out if they want to. The second area of product focus was on community engagement. And there are sort of two key areas here. One is being able to have the homepage act as a centerpiece for community engagement. And the second is being able to use a rewards program to keep people interested. So on the homepage, we now can have the latest news visible from as soon as somebody logs in. And the administrator can even pin some posts to say, here are the things that we want to make sure that are on people's minds. As a user, I can go in and view the related content. So if I find one article that is interesting to me, I can go see other articles that are interesting as well. And that will help me stay in touch with my community. The rewards program is really a way of giving points and recognizing people and thanking them for their active participation in the community. We also had a few improvements around discussion boards, including images and management capabilities to make those run a little bit smoother. The third primary area of focus for the product was around task and workflow management. Task management is really, workflow management, I guess, is really essential to delivering responsive public services. And in this quarter, our focus was primarily around workflow management on the sales side, but it also is an investment in the long-term vision of being able to have responsive public services. So workflow management is really about knowing who needs to do what and when. And in this regard, we had a lot of features to make that possible. As an individual user, you have a task dashboard that allows you to see what you need to be working on and on what your coworkers need to be working on. You can assign that to a user. You can search and filter among the tasks. You can make comments on a task. This is really inspired by Asana and being able to have a discussion within a task. You can follow updates and get reminders, create messages, and you can even auto-create the tasks from messages or from forms. And speaking of forms, this was something that was not part of our original plan for Q3, but an area that we made a lot of updates. As we were working on the residency program in Kwashi, we realized that forms were just absolutely essential to having a well-managed workflow. We were using Google Forms, but they were really inadequate to be able to run the program efficiently and be able to keep track of all the things that needed to go on. So we invested in some native capabilities so that the forms can be directly integrated into a workflow. This allows people to connect with their tasks so that you have a seamless administrative workflow. And the forms themselves allow you to attach documents, make signatures, share status updates as the form progresses through, and for an administrator to approve or reject the form. So really a lot of capabilities here that were a nice surprise in this quarter. And then finally, we advanced our user management capability so that we can have a better visibility into where prospective clients are in the pipeline, be able to merge duplicates and store plot data. In addition to product, we also we did a lot on the program front, thinking about the investments that we're making in building a new city. The primary investment we made in Q3 was around the Artist in Residence program, where we interacted with over 1,500 people who were interested in the program. We learned quite a lot about what it takes to both to have people living on site and to be able to support them and keep the community engaged around the various programs. So we had all sorts of events, both in person and online. This is the lessons that we've learned here are being applied directly now, where we've kicked off the expansion of the Artist in Residence program with 10 artists instead of 3, and with a big focus on having sculptures and other kinds of permanent presence at the city site. So a really good model for how to keep the community engaged and bring a city to life. In addition to the programs that we run, we also partnered very closely with Nkwashi on some of their programs, including the residency program, where they are offering plots at no upfront cost to be able to spur people towards residency, a rewards people program to keep people engaged in the growth of the city, and a marathon that they're hosting in a couple of weeks to help the city come alive. With all of this, these are exciting ways that Nkwashi is leveraging the GDP platform to help keep people engaged and interested and excited about the growth of the city. Think about what we want to do in the next quarter. So we realize that there's quite a lot going on, and so we wanted to get a little bit clearer about the levers that we have to achieve this strategy. And so we're now talking about sort of 4 Ps: product, process, programs, and partners. And I stepped you through each of those in this update. Thinking about what we're going to do next quarter, the big emphasis is going to be thinking about how to move clients towards residency. As we think about our population metric, that becomes, we want to be able to build momentum towards residency and even grow a little bit in this quarter. On the product side, that means more emphasis on the mid funnel. Rather than bringing people into the top funnel, thinking about the workflow improvements and how to address the coordination problems that are going to help people advance and get closer towards starting construction or moving into the site. On the process side, or the customer success side, we're thinking more about that construction process and making sure that we understand what clients are thinking about and what problems we can help solve for them. In addition, we'd like to become the system of record so that we can have a more holistic view of clients, or so that the city administrators can have a more holistic view and provide even better service. On the program side, we'll see the Artists in Residence expansion, and we're also going to be launching a Hackers in Residence program where we will actually be doing job training around software development hosted at Nkwashi and learning how to build an economy in addition to just a permanent presence. And at the partner side, we're excited to explore bringing on some new cities and working with some expanding our partnership base. That's it for the Q3, Q4 update. I look forward to seeing you in another 3 months. Thanks very much.